Persia rebelled in a final desperate struggle to regain their freedom and independence. In response, Roman legions under Titus in 70 AD sacked and burned Jerusalem, killed or enslaved the Jews of Palestine, and banished them from ever returning on pain of death. The Hebrew nation was no more. The people of the book were scattered to the ends of the earth, as far east as China and Japan, to Egypt, Iraq, throughout the African continent, west to Europe, and eventually across the seas to North and South America. In country after country, they established communities and built new lives for themselves. They built synagogues to celebrate their faith and schools to teach their children, keeping alive the memories of the land of David and the glories of Israel. Their prayers and their greetings to one another began to include the familiar phrase, "Next year in Jerusalem." With a sense of Jewish mission to contribute to the world where God has placed you, they infused their skills and talents into the cultures of their new homelands. Their contributions in science, education, the arts, and professions advanced their host societies and literally changed history. Some of the names are very familiar. Leonardo da Vinci, painter Marc Chagall, Albert Einstein, Chaim Weizmann, inventor of TNT that changed the outcome of World War I, and later Israel's first president, Jonas Salk, who discovered the cure for polio, architect gurus Albert Kahn and Frank Gehry, composers Johann Strauss, George Gershwin, and the legendary Irving Berlin, who gave us the songs God Bless America and White Christmas, Leonard Bernstein and Aaron Copland, authors J.D. Salinger, Neil Simon, and Isaac Asimov, actors Cary Grant and Paul Newman, film directors Steven Spielberg and Stanley Kubrick, fashion designers Ralph Lauren and Donna Karan, Levi Strauss, who made jeans the quintessential dress of the modern world, economist Alan Greenspan, track star Harold Abrams of Chariots of Fire fame, baseball's legendary Sandy Koufax, gold medal swimming legend Mark Spitz, and Sydney Olympics champion Lenny Kreiselberg. Collectively, Jews have earned more than 20% of all the Nobel Prizes ever awarded, though they are less than 1/500th of the world's population. In modern times, enterprising Jews founded thousands of companies, among them Home Depot, Dell Computers, RCA, Hershey's Chocolates, the Neiman Marcus stores, CBS Television, Motion Picture Studios MGM, Paramount Pictures, and the list goes on and on. And yet, throughout history, in country after country, the Jews faced ostracism, rejection, persecution, even death, not for what they said or did, but for what they believed, for who they were, because they were Jews. But their rejection only fueled the fires of Jewish yearning to return to the homeland that was but a dream for 2,000 years. The founders of modern Israel declared the Jewish homeland a reality on May 14, 1948, and immediately issued a clarion call to all Jews everywhere to come home. And they have. In 1950, the law of return granted every Jew from anywhere in the world the right to immigrate to Israel and become a citizen. Within 3 years of Israel's birth, nearly 700,000 Jews came here, many of them Holocaust survivors from Germany, Austria, Italy, most of the Jewish communities of Bulgaria and Poland, 1/3 of the Jews of Romania, nearly all of the Jews in Libya, Yemen, Iraq, soon followed by those in Morocco and Tunisia. Détente eased tensions in the Soviet Union, thousands of Russian Jews streamed into Israel, more than 700,000 by 1996. Yet thousands of Jews remained trapped by regimes intent on preventing their leaving. Their journey to freedom was an escape from oppressive anti-Semitism. Their struggle to survive had been a tenacious determination to remain true to their Jewish faith and culture in a world intent on erasing both. In 1984, some 7,000 Ethiopian Jews walked hundreds of miles across the open desert to reach a secret rendezvous known as Operation. In a second effort to rescue the Jews of Ethiopia called Operation Solomon, a dramatic airlift secretly negotiated with their government. 15,000 Jews, almost all of those remaining in Ethiopia, were airlifted to Israel on 41 flights carried out in less than 30 hours in May 1991. At great risk had their departure been detected by those who opposed their escape.
I grew up with one dream, not to get education, not to be doctor, not to be lawyer, just one dream, to get to Jerusalem one day.
Yarden Fanta was barely 12 years old when her family determined to escape the anti-Jewish repression of Ethiopia. They had long dreamed of building a new life in Israel, a place where they could openly celebrate their Jewish heritage.
After 1 year in the desert, finally came afternoon, 3 buses to pick us, some people to the airport. We were so excited, exhausted, and tired. And just we couldn't understand it's gonna happen, and we came to Israel. Sometimes you have a dream to touch the sky, and you touch it, and you don't understand how it happened. We just, looking around, and you can't believe it that it's happened.
The wealth of Israel, its true gold, is in the heart and soul of its people. Men and women of faith and purpose who see themselves as part of the miracle of modern Israel. A people who understand that they're inseparably linked to the legacy and faith of Joshua, Jonathan, and David. Is there a miracle in all this? If you're looking for a spectacular demonstration of supernatural phenomena, you'll probably say no. But if you look deeper, into the hearts of millions of people from scores of nations on every continent, who found themselves strangely drawn to a land they had never known, who left behind everyone and everything familiar, to come here of their own choosing, to restart their lives, living, working, and raising their families in a barren wasteland, offering only sacrifice, toil, and the constant threat of annihilation, to give up the language of their birth and learn Hebrew, to be willing on a daily basis to face threats to their very survival, and yet manage to build one of the most successful, most productive nations on earth. It's hard to find any logical answer to explain all this. A miracle? You decide.